Well, good evening, ladies. I'm back with you all again tonight for another chat session. It is Friday night, and as I promised, I was going to try to bring you guys a video Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night. I know that I can't hold myself to one particular day because my life is so busy these days, so I figure if I can get you a video uploaded between one of those 3 days, then I will be keeping my word. But I'm back tonight with a series of topics that I was going to try to revamp here on my channel. Well, revamping my channel, but talking about some things. Thank you to Michelle for your comments, and I am going to address one of those topics tonight, and this was entitled Living Single. I wanted to talk a little bit about me, and before I get into this topic, this may be a little lengthy video, so if you want to kind of skip through the video, you're welcome to do so, or you want to skip to the end or the middle, you're welcome to do so, but it may be, you know, about a 10-minute video. So I wanted to say that off the top, but I wanted to also just make sure that you guys understand that these are my views, my opinions, my thoughts on living single. I mean, everybody may not look at life in the same way that I do and have the same standards or morals or values or whatever, so I'm not telling a person that they have to actually live their life the way that I do, but these are just my thoughts. I'm gonna try to adjust my light. I feel like it's a little dark here, but hopefully I can get more light in here. Hope I'll knock my camera over. But ladies, I wanted to talk about living single, and first of all, I'm going to start by saying that I have been married twice, and I think I have some videos out there that has talked about the fact that I had been married twice. I got married at a very young age, had children. Needless to say, that marriage did not work out. It was I was in the military. Well, I was in the military. My husband was in the military, and I lived that whole military life for 10 years. And guys, when I tell you that was one of the hardest 10 years of my life, but that also was 10 years of my life that I actually had to grow up and mature into the woman I was supposed to be. So even though there were trials and tribulations for me during that time, I did grow up. And I'm not going to get into all of the gist of what happened, but it was a very, very hard time for me as a young adult. Went from that marriage, and I had 3 children, into being a single parent. And I think I was single for probably the next 5 years. And then I met another man whom was a really great friend of mine. I thought was, you know, my best friend. And even though I didn't have the feelings that I think you should have when you make a decision to marry someone, I felt that because we connected on so many other levels, spiritually, we had the same morals and values, we made each other laugh, you know, it seemed to be the perfect relationship, and that relationship didn't last. So here I am now in my 50s, and I decided probably about 10 years ago that I needed to just take a moment. Sometimes there are things that you need to learn about yourself before you decide to actually put that together with someone else. For me, I had a very troubled upbringing as a young lady, and I wasn't brought up with my parents. My mother and father are divorced, and not blaming anything on them, but I didn't have the father figure in the home. My mother did remarry and had a stepfather, and that relationship was a very abusive relationship, both for my mom and for me and my siblings. So we had a really, really kind of, you know, crazy, I would say, life. So getting past all of that, because I'll deal with some of those issues probably in some other videos. So here I am, a single parent and raising 3 children. I had 1 boy and 2 girls, and just trying to, you know, do what I need to do as a parent. I have to say that I feel I have some beautiful children. They have great morals and values. My 2 daughters are in college. Well, one is in grad school and the other one is in undergrad school, and trying to get her bachelor's, and my oldest daughter is working on her master's. And my son, he is a very talented young man. He has multi-talents. He's a photographer, he's a barber, he writes and produces music. I mean, he's just awesome. And you know, so I can't say much about a lot. I can't even talk, and I would be going on and on and on if I talked about them all night. But this video is about living single. So I just decided that it was time for me to take a break. I did not plan for it to be as long as it has been, but you know, during this time period, I've learned a lot about me. I think a lot of times when we go into relationships, we go in there wanting that other person to give us things, wanting other people to validate us, or to make us feel confident in us, or to make us feel valued and worthy, which actually you need to have those things before you go into relationships. And a lot of times we don't even recognize that, because we end up having the same type of relationships one after another. If you ever notice that if you date someone and then the next person that you date end up having some of the same patterns and personalities and things that you left, and you realize that you just have a pattern of a type of person that you like because that's all you know. Sometimes you have to step outside of yourself and reach for things that you've never experienced before. Never feel that you are not worthy of someone who may seem to be on another level that you're not. So I date now, and I have an interesting life. I have to say that I don't have a lonely life. You know, everybody experiences lonely periods, but I feel that if I decide to take another step into marriage, I really want to know this person. I need to know that we both feel the same as far as the things that are important to us in our life, and our standards and our morals and values, our priorities. Or are you a materialistic person, or are you simple? You know, those things are very important. A lot of times people don't even think about those things, but when it comes to bringing two households together, that is very important. So I date, and sometimes I meet people that I actually find to be physically attractive, and they make me laugh, and we go out and have a good time together. But when you start talking about the heart things, the things that you need to know before you decide that this person is the right person for you, a lot of times you find out things that you know that you will not absolutely be able to accept or be able to live with. That's your red flag. A lot of times people want to overlook things and signs and behaviors because they find this person to be so physically attractive, and they think that that will take them through this relationship, and it will not. And now I have been celibate now for 6 years, and a lot of times when I meet men, they actually get turned off by that, because you know, most men are very, you know, physical people, you know, and they feel that once they're with you or hanging out with you, at some point it has to lead to intimacy. But you have to determine what intimacy means to you and what that's for. And for me, that particular type of intimacy is for relationship. It's for marriage. And I don't feel the need to hang out with guys and go to movies or go to dinner and feel that I have to be intimate on a level of sex. And a lot of times that's a good thing for me, because it weeds out individuals for me. Because I feel that if a guy really is interested in me on a long-term basis, he is not going to be pressuring me to go to bed with him. And so that's usually one of the biggest issues that you will face when you're dating and single, because people just automatically associate sex with dating, and it's really not. Those are two different things. You know, people just choose to bring them together, and intimacy is something for more of a commitment level for me. And so I choose not to associate sex with dating. So in my life, in the lifestyle that I live, dating is about having a great time. Dating is about getting to know a person, going to a movie, going to a museum, a carnival, go see a play, or go to dinner, you know, whatever it is that you enjoy doing together, or some of the hobbies that you share. That is what dating is for. Dating is for learning this person's likes and dislikes and their habits and where they, you know, want to go in life. That's what dating is for me. And I keep sex out of it. And that has worked for me for the last 6 years, because that way I can get to know a person and I can determine if this is somebody that I feel that I can take with me on a long-term basis. Now, when you reach 50 years old, it's not so important as it is when you're 25 to 30 or 35 to always have to have someone on your arm. You have to fill your life up with other things. What are some of the things that you enjoy doing in life? What are some things that you haven't experienced or places you haven't gone that you would like to see? Is there something you want to learn? You know, presently I have my hands in so many different things. I am in real estate school. I'm trying to get my real estate license. I want to be a licensed realtor. I have interest in jewelry making, making bracelets and earrings. So I'm kind of dabbling in the beadings and stuff like that right now, and I'm gonna probably have some things to show you guys a little further down the road. Also into developing this YouTube channel. I have been a mentor for quite a while, mentoring inner city girls who have come from broken homes, or homes where they were abandoned, or, you know, lived in poverty. So my life has other interests. And when you find yourself getting out and giving to the community and doing things for people, you're not sitting around thinking about how lonely you are that you don't have anybody. I don't mind, as they used to say, it's the devil's workshop. So when you're sitting around and you're thinking about what you don't have, that's how you start feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like you're not worthy and feeling that you're not good enough. But when your life is thriving, you don't have time to sit around and worry about whether or not you have a companion. That will come. That will come. And if you get out and you interact with people, you're going to always be meeting people. You will always meet people. I meet men all the time. It doesn't mean that because I meet them that I have to be with them. You know, I enjoy just the communication, the talking, and getting to know people. You meet people from different states and different countries. I mean, that's awesome. But if you sit around and you feel that you're not living life based on the fact that you don't have a person in your life that you can say is your man or your woman, then you're missing out on life. Do I desire to be by myself forever? No, I don't. I actually, like I said, I'm 54 years old, and it would be nice to feel that, you know, I have time left to spend with someone, because I love traveling. I want a companion that I can go, you know, see some exotic places and, you know, just have a great time with. But I'm not gonna wait until that time comes to enjoy the life that I have right now. It's up to you. It's your thought process. A lot of times, you know, you think that life is over, but it's just the changing of your mind. You actually have to sit down and make a decision to say, hey, I'm not gonna live in this space. I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna make a decision to enjoy life, the one that I have right now, until the one that I want comes. But you have to work toward that, and that is what I do. As far as people making the statements about don't you get you know, horny, or, you know, you wanna, you know, all of that, that's just a part of nature. You know, those things come, they go. But when you're trying to think about what you want to do with your life and enjoying the life that God has given you, you don't have time to sit around and just wallow in that feeling of, you know, ecstasy and what I don't have and I wish I could be. I'm not going to tell anybody that they can't do that. As I said, and when I started this video, this is based on where I am in my space in my life. Because when you get to this age, you truly don't want to be out there sleeping around with everyone, or sleeping around with somebody for 2 or 3 months. That relationship ends, and then you're sleeping around with someone else for the next 2 months. That lifestyle is not for me. It has never been for me, to be honest. I've always had one boyfriend. I never was the girl that had 2 or 3 boyfriends, and just never did that. That has never been me. But when you get to a certain level of maturity, it's not something that you desire to do. You know, you don't have the thought process. I don't like even when I have multiple guys calling me. You know, sometimes if your phone ringing and it's Joe, and then the next 10 minutes from now is Paul, you're saying to yourself, I don't have time for that. I just don't need that in my life. I like people that I can actually that give me space. You know, I like having my privacy. I like having my time to myself, and learning what it is that make Lydia, building the confidence that I need in myself to feel okay with me, being able to be alone in my space. I'm at home on a Friday night by myself right now, and a lot of people, this would mean, oh, my life is not worth living, or I'm just not doing anything with my life because they're at home. I enjoy being at home sometimes. I can sit here and I can read, I can look at a movie, I can listen to some nice jazz, I can fix myself a nice dinner, have myself a nice glass of wine, or do things that I enjoy doing. You don't sit and allow life to pass you by. You live life as it comes to you. And when you do that, it's something about your personality, something about you will radiate outward, and it draws people to you. It makes people want to get to know you. And as men have told me on some of the videos, if you continue to tell guys that you're not going to have sex, that's going to run guys off. That has never, ever ran a man away from me. As far as me having a companion or someone that I can do things with. If I desire tonight to go to a movie or to go to dinner, I can pick my phone up right now and go and do that and call someone and have a date. So it's not a matter of not having anyone. It's just a matter of me wanting to choose the right person, for me. So living single to me is not about dating per se only. It's about everything that makes up who I am, my hobbies, my professional career, my spiritual life. It's all of that encompassed together. All of that makes you who you are. And you can live this life and be happy and enjoy it single, just as someone else that's married. I have great friends. I have a small circle of really great people in my life. Tomorrow I'm actually going out with some ladies. We're gonna do this thing they have in Memphis called Painting with a Twist. And that's where you get together in this art class, and there's a subject, and everyone have their easels and paint, and then you paint this whatever it is that they present for you to paint. And a lot of people, they have cheese and wine, or sometimes they just, I'm with a spiritual group, so we're not going to be drinking tomorrow, but we'll probably have lunch. We're supposed to have lunch after the whole art class. And then later that night, we're going on a dinner cruise on the Mississippi River, and that's going to be great. And I just enjoy my life. Living single does not have to mean that you're sitting at home with a blanket crying, laying in your bed. It's what you make it. So you have to make your life count. You have to make your life enjoyable. I tell people that are single, who are maybe going through that period of growing, because everybody has to get there, rather than sit at home and wallow in that self-pity, ask yourself, what are some of the things that you want to do? That time by yourself gives you time to learn what you like. What do you like about yourself? What are some things you want to change about yourself? I started working out. I wanted to make sure that I'm healthy. I wanted to make sure that, I be around so that I can see my grandchildren grow up. So I started working out, and now I have a very, very healthy lifestyle. And I love that about me. It makes me feel good, and hopefully if nothing happens, it'll help me to live longer. So just take life and make it. You have to work it and make it what you want it to be. So I hope this is helpful to someone. Don't sit around and just throw your life away and just feel like you are not worthy just because you don't have a person in your life at this point. You watch TV, you see celebrities who in society's eyes supposed to have everything, and they lose their men and women just like we do. So don't compare yourself to other people. Don't look at your friends and what they have and feel like you don't have it just because you don't have someone at this moment. God may be saving you. God may be saving you for someone special. Take care. So I hope you all are in.